if you want to understand just how diabolical consequences the Spanish exploitation of Latin America, of South America had, then this is one of the places that you have to come. We are today in Potosí, the highest city in the world, 4,000 meters above sea level. This city used to be one of the richest cities in the whole world before the Spanish came here. Much of that richness comes down to the mountain that we see up here in the background, called Cerro Rico, or translated to English, the Rich Mountain. From this mountain, the Spanish extracted so much silver that it is said, the legend has it, that you could build a bridge with all that silver that the Spanish extracted from here, starting in Bolivia, going all the way across the Atlantic Ocean back to Madrid, and another bridge back again from Madrid to Potosí, to South America. That is just how much silver that they extracted from this mountain. Potosí, as I said, used to be on par with Paris and London back in the 1500s, one of the richest cities. Today, the story is quite different. Today, this is one of Bolivia's most poor cities. Today, people are still mining up there in that mountain. Today, people are still dying from the consequences of diabolical working conditions, extracting silver and zinc from the Cerro Rico, the rich mountain that we see over here in the background. One of the consequences of the Spanish to the city here in Potosí is we see a lot of these colonial imperialistic buildings here in the center of the city. This is one of the most beautiful central squares in all of Bolivia. We're here to explore the history and the cultural festival that is the Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos, Todos Santos as they call it here. This is right. It's not just a Mexican thing. This is also being celebrated here in Bolivia, but they celebrate it quite differently than from the festivities that you see from Mexico. Let's go ahead and explore Potosí, one of the most historical cities that you must understand to understand the consequence of Spanish imperialism to South America. Check it out. It's quite beautiful here in the center. There's another church down there. Right, we have made it. Check it out. There's a big, massive market. The cemetery is in here. That's where the main event is taking place. There's a big, massive market out here. And the tradition is goes something like, you gotta eat well first, and then you gotta bring whatever it was that your dead relative used to enjoy much. Anything from flowers, beers, bread, their favorite dishes, and you gotta bring it inside the cemetery and put it in front of his grave so you can enjoy a good meal with your dead relative, whether that's your brother, your father, or your son, or whatever. So let's go ahead and see what we can find here first. Check it out. This is one of the main entrances to the cemetery, it looks like here. People are heading in, got that big cross there. Let's go ahead and see what we can find first. ¿Qué es esto?
Chicha.
Chicha. ¿Hecho de qué?
De maíz.
De maíz. ¿Es rico?
Claro.
¿Cuánto vale uno?
Este vale 3.
3. Ok. ¿Puedo probar uno?
Sí.
Por favor. So this is this. Corn chicha. Como maíz fermentado. There we go. Check this out. But you get it in this. ¿Es cuerno de vaca? ¿Torro? ¿De qué es este?
Produce, hay un árbol que produce eso.
Un árbol. Ah, okay. So it's a wood, some kind of wood, glass this here. Check it out, it's like my home country with the Viking traditions. Okay. That's quite refreshing. ¿Tiene alcohol esto? ¿O es puro? Ok. Algunos chichas tienen alcohol, ¿no? Sí. Pero este chicha no. Ah, okay. So she's selling big bottles like that as well. 10 bolivianos for a big bottle like that. 3 bolivianos, that's like less than $50. Interesting. How would I describe this? Basically like a fermented lemonade. That's what I would say. This is what it most tastes like. Oh, wow. That's quite nice, actually. It doesn't look very nice, but it is. Promise you, it is pretty nice. Hola, ¿cómo estás? The people are in nice spirits here. That's the interesting thing. Even though it's about death, people seem to be in happy spirits. It's about celebrating the life of your forefathers, of your ancestors, of your relatives, your dead relatives. Cheers, in Chicha. Let's see what else we can find. Right, that was a lovely drink. Much better than it looked, as I said. Now let's check out this market here and see what else we can find. Here's another entrance into the cemetery. ¿Qué vende eso?
Incienso, palo santo.
¿Qué significa?
El humo del palito es un incienso natural, tiene secreto. Aleja la mala energía, la mala vibra, trae la buena suerte.
Y esto se pone para la tumba.
Y en este día se inciencian a las almitas. En la tumba.
En la tumba se pone esto para traer buena energía.
Sí.
And he's selling little knives. Pequeño cuchillo.
Contra robo, amuleto.
Contra robo.
Contra robo. Trajinamos en la billetera, monedero.
Ah, ok. ¿Para qué?
Suerte, para traer dinero.
Suerte.
Cutihuainito para la envidia.
Good luck.
Sí.
Ah, ya.
Son amuletos.
Ok, y eso antirrobo.
Antirrobo, cuchillito original en tamaño pequeñito.
Ah, ok, para que no te roben.
Para que no te roben.
Okay.
Y es cierto, ¿eh?
Gracias, señor.
De nada, te leo.
There you have another one of these traditions. So you bring that incense, natural incense, into the grave there, inside the cemetery. We'll go and check that out later. Yeah, you bring that in to bring good luck, and then you have that little knife to protect yourself against any thieves, any thugs that might want to rob you. Check it out, it's busy here. Everybody, we've got flowers on sale over here, sunglasses here. Not that that has much relevance to dead people. We even got some cereals, some ice cream or something it looks like. Flowers here, more flowers over there. ¿Sándwich de chola?
Sí.
¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Cuánto sale?
7.
7. Uno, por favor. A pork sandwich, roasted in the oven. Al horno, ¿no? Sí, con todo, con todo. Es al horno se hace cocer, ¿no? Sí. Roasted in the oven, and then it's kept here in a little, basically the fat of itself being kept hot here with a little gas stove, good filled, with a bunch of roasted pork in there. Oh, check it out. Gonna have a go. Just as good as I remember. And you got a little bit of crunch here as well, a little bit of the skin. This is delicious. Good breakfast. Check it out here. Y esos son flores para adentro.
Sí.
Lo que vende usted acá.
Sí, sí.
Y vende mucho.
Sí.
Buen negocio.
Dame pues closets.
Yo no tengo nadie muerto ahí adentro. And here we have an example of the things you want to buy for your relatives. Small drinks. Eso es para adentro, ¿no? Para los tumbos.
Así es.
Y se lleva.
Se lleva su cerveza, whisky, casa real, Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite.
Ajá.
Tenemos de todo, cada gusto que tiene los difuntos.
¿Y por qué pequeño?
¿Por qué? Porque para que entre a la tumba, como es pequeño, pequeñito.
¿Y es real whisky adentro?
Real, whisky, Coca-Cola real también, Coca-Cola.
Ah, sí. So you have these small whiskies here, Red Label, Johnny Walker, Coca-Cola, Sprite, Ron Abuelo, water, agua,
Chivas, ¿no?
agua
Chivas,
igual,
Chivas.
Regal, all sorts of whiskies, beers, Quilmes, that's Argentina.
Argentina.
¿Cuánto sale?
Paseña. 10 bolivianos cada uno.
10 bolivianos cada uno. A ver, let's get one of these, let's get two. Uno, un whisky y un ron,
Ya.
¿no? No, Singani, esto de...
Este.
Eso es boliviano,
Boliviano y extranjero.
extranjero. 20 sale entonces.
Sí, señor.
Voy a encontrar a alguien a quien regalarlo adentro.
Muy bien, hasta luego, que le vaya bien.
Gracias.
Ok.
Ten buen día.
Gracias.
And here's all the things that they sell as well. Little vases for the flowers that we've seen they've been selling as well. For the, what do you call them, the candles, little virgins there. So we're gonna find some guy or girl, lady, man, gentleman, who enjoyed himself a good whiskey and a good Singani, the local spirit here. I find it hard to believe that it's actually real, alcohol in there. But I guess we're not gonna find out, or maybe I'm gonna buy one after. I should probably do that. We'll buy one afterwards to test it out if it's actually real. But these ones we're gonna try and yeah, gift, donate, whatever you want to call it, to someone inside who seems to have a relative that enjoyed very much a little whiskey. Right, see you on the inside. Oh, more chicha. Alright, so we're inside. As you can see, the atmosphere sort of changes inside here. That's why I'm speaking much lower. The people are sitting there praying for the spirits of their dead relatives. But here we have the layout of the graves. We have a little picture of Jesus there, and these are all the graves here. As you can see, people have come here. This seems to have been a kid, probably. Oh man, heartbreaking, eh? Little kid toys, flowers. Here's more tombs. It's massive, so it's just these big houses, and I guess the coffin just goes into those holes there, where we have each little tomb. How would you get up to the top though? That seems difficult. As you can see, all these tombs here. Here's another one that's been filled out with flowers. Another one here, photos of the deads. And yes, as you can see in the back there, I don't know how well it comes across. There's some drinks set up there. Hola.
¿Cuál es tu página para que te siga?
PilgArt explores. As I was saying, the atmosphere is quite different inside here. Outside it seems very happy, but here on the inside, yeah, it's very beautiful. Someone seems to be playing music, so it's very beautiful, like very different to our cemeteries back in Europe, or at least in Lutheran Protestant countries. Seems like they're expanding the cemetery here, building new houses. We can see down there how the layout is. And here it also seems to be more like what I'm used to, that you get buried in the ground over there. You can see all the people. Let's go and check it out. Let's go and see. With all their crosses. That's the interesting thing, how another influence of the Spanish here, that they managed to conquer Bolivia, conquer this place here in Potosí by Christian, Catholic, what do you call them? Christianizing them, making them Catholics. But yeah, as you see here, it's all more like we used to in Europe, and you can see a good view out over the city to the mountains in the background. Here we can see the layout of these tombs, basically. So in there goes each coffin, and here we have another one that they're building right next to it here. That's the layout. Yeah, as I was saying earlier in the intro, this city has a lot of deaths because there's basically everybody here works in mining, and the conditions are horrific. So a lot of these miners are not getting much older than 45, sort of thing. And here you can see a whole bunch of families having their ceremonies with their loved ones that have left them. Hola, señor. Busco a alguien que quiere, con quien puedo regalar esto. ¿Su familia de ustedes quieren? Lo compré afuera para donar. Alguien. Me dijeron que es la tradición, ¿no?
Sí.
¿Sí? Tengo un whisky y un Singani. Veo que tú tienes allá igual. Sí. ¿Y cuál es de ustedes acá?
El rosado.
El rosado. ¿Su mamá? ¿Su papá? Su mamá. ¿Qué involucra la tradición?
Es tradición, como costumbre se hace pues
recordar a las almitas que nos dejaron, ¿no?, en vida, entonces recordarles a ellos. Hoy en día se recuerda pues Todos Santos, entonces por eso se les celebra a las almitas. Se recuerda a todos los seres queridos en la familia que se han ido.
Y entiendo bien si es como ayer es 3 días, ¿no?
Sí.
Ayer viene el espíritu, hoy día está con ustedes y mañana se va.
Sí.
Sí. Así que hoy día por eso están en el cementerio tomando, celebrando, recordando, comiendo juntos con la mamá o la papá o quien era sus... Sí, sí. So there we have the explanation. Just like I was saying, it is a strange environment, but it feels much more happy, content with the situation, with what's going on, with the whole relationship to death is much more different in Latin America in general and here in Bolivia. In Mexico, as we see from the photos there's all these big parades. Here it's just more interpersonal between oneself, one's own family, and one's dead relative, one's dead father, mother, brother, sister, whatever. Case in point there with how it's much more festivity-like. This looks almost like a Mexican kind of environment where they're singing to the dead. Maybe their dead relative maybe was a musician with their ponchos and their hats. ¿Por qué la canción?
Lo que pica para amigos, para amigos.
¿Para amigos?
Para amigos. Familiar, alguien muy querido.
Ajá.
Entonces la gente le expresa su cariño, su amor de esa manera.
Ok.
Sí.
¿Y el relativo era músico? ¿O simplemente por...?
Bueno, amigo. La gente dedica lo que quiere en su corazón, su cariño.
Ajá.
Según eso vamos tocando las canciones que ellos piden.
Ok. Ustedes van simplemente a tocar en los diferentes
El
lugares.
sentimiento que ellos...
Ok. They're gonna play another song. ¿Ustedes son de Sucre? De la capital. Ok.
Los dolientes tienen tristeza en su corazón por la pérdida que han tenido de su familia. Entonces ellos piden canciones que a sus difuntos les gustaban. Cumbias, románticos, cortavenas, cristianos, católicos.
¿Y son canciones famosas?
Sí. Nosotros replicamos lo que ellos quieren escuchar.
Sí.
A ver, vamos a
escuchar un poquito más. So we're going to get another song here. So they're singing songs that the dead relative used to enjoy. And as you can see, they're dressed up in a Mexican kind of style, which is rather interesting. That is not. ¿Y por qué no es el vestimiento boliviano?
Hay diversos géneros de música en Bolivia. Y uno de los géneros que también aplicamos es lo que es la música ranchera mexicana.
Ranchera, sí.
Entonces nosotros como sector de músicos de música ranchera hacemos este tipo de músicas. También tenemos otros sectores que hacen de ver, hay música folclórica, charanguitos, todo eso. En nuestra ocasión, nuestro trabajo de nosotros es representar la música mexicana.
Ok, muy bien, gracias. So there you have it. It is simply songs in honor of your death, of your dead relative. And yeah, now we're going to get another one. And these are famous songs from Latin America. Yeah, there you have it. The connection, the Mexican connection to this tradition. Those lads there, that group, playing this beautiful. You can really feel that passion. It makes it extremely more sentimental when they're singing this beautiful song there, but like in a happy way as well. Like those two ladies that were there, probably the daughters of the mom and the father, they seemed rather happy. They seemed content and they were smiling, they weren't sad and crying and all that. It is such a different circumstance than the way we remember the dead back in Europe, innit? We just bury them, and every now and then you come to the cemetery and just put some flowers and maintain the grave, but there's nothing of that massive celebration of what my grandmother, in my case, used to like. Whenever I'm back in Denmark, I go and visit her grave. That's all. We don't have these beautiful traditions like this here. It's stunning. It's very, very beautiful. Beautiful. That touches your heart, that man. There you have it. The celebration of the Day of the Dead here in Bolivia. Right, we are back outside. But before we head back, before we end this video, we should go and check this. I've been told this is the restaurant that serves the most international or the most famous dish here in all of Potosí. Something called Kalaphurka. Check it out, it's a beautiful decorated place. All sorts of old decorations over here. Llamas and silver plate dishes, the traditional dressing of Potosí. There's the lady who has founded the restaurant, who is the famous Doña Eugenia, the owner of this restaurant, the founder of this restaurant. Here we have a beautiful photo, or a painting I should say, of the old central square in Potosí, the old central market that we've passed before, the church we saw in the background and the big Cerro Rico. Hola. Muy bien, ¿tú?
También bien, muchas gracias.
¿Tienes Kalaphurka?
Ay.
¿Cuánto vale?
20 bolivianos.
Perfecto. Uno, por favor.
Muy bien. Bonito.
¿Tienes cerveza?
Potosina.
Uno, por favor, igual. Get ourselves a beer and we'll get ourselves this famous soup. I'll explain this soup once it comes. But this is, shall we say, a very hot soup. First up, we get the beer. Potosí's local beer, the Potosina. Like everything here in Potosí, it's got a picture of the mountain there on it. Let's check it out. Well, it's a standard beer, just like your Carlsberg, your Heineken, that type of beer. They have it here in Bolivia as well. They have it here in Potosí as well. Cheers. Let's wait for the food. Here we go. This is what we're talking about. And in here we have got the most beautiful soup. As you can see, it's bubbling like this because there is a volcanic rock in here, somewhere in the middle. This rock here, right here, is boiling hot. It is put in the fire, and as I said, it is a volcanic rock that makes the soup hot. In it we have some pork, it looks like. We've got some cilantro or perejil or parsley, I'm not sure exactly what it is. We've got the pork, we've got tomato, and I think it's based on potato, if I'm not mistaken. Soup itself is based on potato. As you can see, we move it around. We've got that tomato sauce in there as well. So mix of tomato and potato soup. Isn't that beautiful? That's enough chatter for now. Check it out. We've got these little mote, the corn here as well. It's gonna be the same corn that we had the soup with, or the chicha, the drink before, out there outside. So let's get a few of these in here as well. Mix it up, and let's end the chatter and more eating. This is Potosí's most famous food. This is the most famous restaurant in all of Potosí. Everybody has told me, you must come here to Doña Eugenia and try the famous Kalaphurka. This potato, tomato soup with corn, with pork, a bit of spicy kick to it as well. It's beautiful. The pork is stunning. Wow. And yeah, we have that little spicy kick. We don't even need the best spicy sauce in the world, the yapa. And we just let that settle in into the stomach. This is a beautiful lunch, a beautiful way to end this beautiful tradition of Dia de los Muertos, of the Day of the Dead here in Bolivia, here in Potosí, with the most traditional food that Potosí has to offer itself. Cheers to traditional food. Cheers to keeping traditions alive. And may the pesky Spanish be haunted forever. It's so unique with that volcanic rock in there as well. Like, check it out, it's still bubbling a little bit. Keeping the soup hot. Cheers to Kalaphurka. So check this out. Check this out. I was lucky enough to be gifted like a little, oh my god, it's blowing all over the place with the wind here. A little poster that explains, let me get it here, a little poster that explains the history of this dish that has the name there, Restaurant Doña Eugenia Kalaphurka, the signature dish, the famous head of the Potosí, a bunch of the churches, and the mountain of Cerro Rico up there in the top, and the Uyuni, the desert down there, the salt flats. This is a family business, having been in place for almost 35 years, almost 40 years, sorry, I was told. So the early founder, Doña Eugenia, passed away 3 years ago. So she's now buried over there in the cemetery that's just around the corner here. And if you come here and you want to try this dish, you simply come to the cemetery, which is around the corner here, following the market where we were before, and you look for this yellow house, Doña Eugenia Kalaphurka. There you will find Potosí's best food. And a wonderful service, wonderful family-owned business. Nowadays, it is the oldest daughter of Doña Eugenia that is running the place and cooking this famous Kalaphurka in the exact same taste, I was told, as the original Mama Doña Eugenia. We finished with the cemetery. Most people seem to be heading off as well, so let's go ahead and see what else we can find here in Potosí for the rest of this afternoon. Let's go ahead and explore some of the outskirts of the city, or some other parts outside of the center, just like where we are now. The cemetery is also not in the center where we started, to see what sort of houses, what sort of environment life is lived in here in Potosí nowadays, when we leave the beautiful imperialistic center of Potosí. So here we have one of the examples of modern day architecture here in Potosí. As you venture down the side streets, you find houses like this one, run down, electricity lines. This is not even that chaotic for what some other places I've seen here, but you see these rundown houses all across Potosí. And then over on the other side over here, we've got something that looks like it dates back quite a long time. Maybe not colonial, but it still looks pretty old. We have another building here that is the same sort of thing. Those are the two faces of Potosí that you will find when you come here. Houses like this one behind me there, all run down. Those brick houses that you see back there as well. Red brick houses, no insulation, no money to make them look even slightly nice. And then these majestic old colonial buildings. Some sort of hospital I think we have here. And I don't know what this is in here, but they have some little kids playground sort of thing going on. That is what you will see in Potosí nowadays. As soon as you venture out a little bit out of the center, you'll see these rundown houses, rundown streets. Whew, excuse me, I gotta catch my breath. Walking up the streets here in Potosí in this altitude is quite the challenge. And here we have a perfect end to this video, a statue of the great liberator of Bolivia, of Peru, of Ecuador, Colombia and Venezuela, the great Simón Bolívar, sitting right there, venturing, or would you say it, looking over the city of Potosí. And with that said, I think this is where we'll end this video, and I will see you when I see you.